So here we go, crap to cream in the top shed. I've nearly finished the job now. So this is what it looks like now it's finished, with the axle, the extended axle fitted. So I've had to fit a few extra brackets and spacers. So there's a 50mm spacer here. There's a 45mm spacer over, in there. There's a two 50mm spacers up there on the handbrake cable to lower that down. I hope you can see that. There's a little flat bracket on here to allow the cable to be lifted up a little bit without putting any extra stress on it. So the brake pipe now is fine. Now, if there's nothing else you get out of this video, right, it's about this prop shaft, drive shaft, whatever, tail shaft, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't get it apart when I undid the bolts, and I mentioned it in the first video that I had to undo the grease nipple at the front and then pry it apart, and the grease jettisoned out of the sliding mechanism, the sliding spline mechanism at the other end. So when I put it back together again, I took it all apart, cleaned out all the old grease, and then I re-greased it and didn't put as much grease in there because it was chock as full of grease. But if you have a diff bearing failure or a transfer case bearing failure, typically I think you'll blame something else like oil or something else. You will not think of the preload put on the drive shaft, tail shaft, prop shaft, whatever you want to call it, as the cause, right? So the bearing failure is a symptom of the cause, and the cause could well be you're overloading the bearings in either the diff and the transfer case when you pump grease in. Made a new vent line up because that was too short. Everything else seemed to fit. The extensions worked on here on the cable. I had to readjust the brakes, so that's all done now. The ABS sensors, they've got 4 ribs around the outside diameter, and I had to just give them a little bit of a tickle with a file to make them a nice slide-in fit. I put a little bit of silicone grease on all the connections so that everything slid back together again as it's supposed to. The greasable shackles are in, all done, so they're finished. So I'm just waiting for the shocks to arrive now, and the shocks, mine are sort of 689 fully extended. I think it's 689, so either 689 or 649 from centerline to centerline. So I set the diff up at that height to make sure that everything was at full extension. The only thing that I'm not really it was the handbrake cable, but it all works fine and it's all sitting in the brackets correctly. So that's all that. Got to figure out this when I put my new rock box on. So I fitted the rock box on this side, my new rock box. I had the other one before which had a really big back section, just didn't look really good. So this one looks like it's designed for the vehicle. So this is the other angle to show everything assembled. So yeah, the handbrake cable's the only thing, but I've got those extra brackets up there so that it drops it down 2 inches, so it still doesn't touch the cross member in the middle and gives me that little bit of extra. So there you go. And what's more, the chickens approve. They've come in for a little bit of a walk around, check things out. Not sure they'll get any benefit being in here. I might get a couple of eggs, but that's about it. So there you go. That's the axle installed, and it seems to be at more of a lean to the back, right? So the prop shaft alignment is better. So anyway, yeah, there you go. That's what it looked like. That's what it looks like now it's finished. So I'll finish it off and get it on the road and see what it goes like. See if it's feels any different. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the comments. All great. No problem at all. It's all good stuff. Have a nice week. Bye for now.